up, Dragon Ball fam? It's your boy Eddie Sandler coming at you again with Oof, let me fix this really quick, and it'll get me on our way. All right, so I'll mute this so it's not going crazy. Let me get a pop-out chat. So I'm gonna try to make this one quick. So get the pop-out chat here so I can pay attention. All right, I'm gonna try to make this one quick because the kids still aren't sleeping. So yeah, if you guys have questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to leave them so I can answer them for you guys really quick. Let me have my phone open just in case people did leave their comments, questions, or concerns they wanted me to hit up. All right, let me make sure we're good to go. We're live. All right, cool, we're live. All right, what's up, guys? It's your boy Eddie Sandler coming at you today with another. I guess let's call this Otakon / Gen Con prep. The reason why is because it's in the same format, right? Real quick, it's a weird thing that we have going on right now in Dragon Ball, right? Because Dragon Ball right now, it's dominated by really two decks, even though there are more playable decks, and those other decks can rise to the level of really high tier competition. Players just aren't playing it, right? And the two decks I'm referring to is, once again, I'm honest with you guys, right? Even though I hate to admit it, I think Gamma, in my opinion, is the best deck in the format. And then right underneath it is Trunks. And then there's a bunch of other decks that just fall right underneath it, right underneath that as well. And they're not bad. Such decks such as U7. You've seen red decks have been taken off lately, right? You've seen what is it? U7 is won 2 back-to-back regionals dating from Origins. After that, the 2 game regionals, it was Bulma that won. And then this last past weekend, when I was at New Jersey, my boy Eric Hill won with a launch, right? So even though Red is being criminally underplayed, Red has still been taking all the most recent events, which is it's a thing of beauty to see, honestly, because it's usually the underdog in Top Cut. So it just sits there and rises to the occasion and does what it has to do. So really quick, thank you for calling customers. I'm dead. Yeah, that comment killed me. That man said, thank you for calling customer service. Look at that. Yeah, I'm knocked out right now. Oh, man. But real quick, man. All right, let's talk about Gamma. So, with Gamma, how do you pretty much combat Gamma, in my opinion? So, the way I do it, let's talk in terms of right now, yellow, right? Because that's the decks that I tend to play right now currently, are yellow decks. So in my yellow decks right now, I tend to main, not side deck, once again, main board, Tyrannical Blow, as well as Cooler, because everyone's going to main Cooler, you're playing yellow, right? So Tyrannical Blow and Cooler, the biggest mistakes that I see people do is they T-Blow or they'll Cooler just because they have it in their hand, right? Not assessing the situation. So when the Gamma matchup, go ahead, uses the Android 14 negate to negate the attack and discard a card, you're gonna pay 2 energy, right? We got to start looking at the field. This is how I evaluate the game state, and this is why this is when I will decide whether or not I will T-Blow or Cooler it. Realistically speaking, if you're playing one Cooler, which I'm not, it's a hint on my updated list, I play 2. I'm not going to blow Cooler on an Android 14 unless I see Hatch, it's like in his life or something. I'm not going to blow it. I'm going to blow the Cooler on the actual Baby Hatchet, because Baby Hatchet is more valuable to negate, in my opinion, than an Android 14. Because once again, Android 14 is a heavy investment because it does cost 2 energy as well as 2 cards. It costs an Android 14 as well as a discard fighter. So let's say I'm playing Trunks right now, right? And it's my turn 2. He went first. So he has 3 energy up. So I'm going into my turn 3. I'm going to have 3 energy up, right? So realistically speaking, I have a Trunks on board, a leader, and that leader is going to now let me get a 1-drop for my drop to evolve to have 2 battle cards on board. This is where I assess the situation. Is it really worth paying 1 energy to only get 2 attacks off? In my opinion, it's not. Reason being is Gamma will still have resources besides that Android 14 to out combo your little push that you're trying to do. Versus if you had a field just set, let's say if I had 3 battle cards on board, or even 2 battle cards and a dual attack, the Trunks, right? The altering future Trunks, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks, and my leader is 5. That's something that's worth the investment, because counters like T-Blow don't actually stop the counter. It doesn't stop the negate. It stops the auto. And with that being said, I'm not going to burn one of my most crucial cards in order to get 2 attacks off that they're going to out combo, if that makes sense. Let's see. In the mirror match. If I'm going against it, I think, realistically speaking, you're going to have to play that little jackal-looking one with that hat, with a little clown hat, to stop it. And it's the same scenario. Like, you're not going to do it on your turn 2 because they went first on turn 3, and they have a unison out, and that's not worth it to me. So if I'm Gamma and I'm going against the mirror match, and once again I have a unison and I have my leader and a 117, it's not worth it to me. Now, if you had the dual attacker, you're ready to neg your 17-18 for another dual attack, and they stop your leader swing, or they stop whatever swing it is, and you still have 4 more slings left, yeah, go ahead and do that bad boy. But realistically speaking, don't do it just to do it. And that's what I'm trying to instill players, because once again, that's the biggest mistakes. As I've been judging and I've been playing, the most common mistakes I see is players tend to do things just because they have it. Just because you have the card doesn't mean you use it. You evaluate the game state first and use it. Alright, so moving on from that, the obvious Gamma hates, right? Real quick before I move on, let's go on and catch up on the comments. You're gonna reveal your Trunks list? Yeah, it's already up. And then the actual one, like the one where all my cards are in there, because I don't have to wait for people to get it. Like the actual one on DBS Deck Planets is on the PPG Patreon. We have, is Hatch Seeker a 0 cost? Yes, it is. It's a 0 cost. You just discard a card. Yep. All right, cool. So we caught up on the comments, right? So the next thing for Gamma itself, if I am the yellow matchup, in my opinion, in your sideboard, because all of Bandai's events currently, at least the in real life ones, are best of 1 pre-side. Somewhere between your sideboard and your main board, have Release Rainbow. Reason being is, as a Trunks player, I also said this on my Trunks deck profile, I'll let them have my Trunks going into their turn 4. Reason being is because if you have a Trunks out, they're not going to sell you. Because if they understand, if they sell you, it's just going to come out, they tap 4, and it's going to be arrested, right? That's pointless for them. So what I would do before they go into their turn 4, I would normally swing with my Trunks, do what it is, make sure that damage connects. That's another huge thing you have to do too. You don't attack just to attack versus Gamma. You attack to inflict damage. Because if you attack just to attack, it's like fighting off launch. It's like fighting any combo-based deck. That's what it is. It's fighting that off. You have to attack to certain numbers in the end, because you have to realize they don't play draw super combo. And the ones you do play draw super combo, it's very, very few players. But they play the Android 18 and the other one that untaps, the new one that untaps. So they lose combo power from their hand. What I was saying before is you want to make your attacks actually connect. So a strategy that I use after making my attacks connect, if I'm a Trunks player, I'm speaking in terms of Trunks right now, so Trunks player, listen up. I'll swing on my turn 3 going into turn 4 with Trunks, because the first thing they're going to do is they're going to focus on your leader. They're not going to focus on any other thing but the 1 Trunks. Make sure it's only 1 Trunks you have. They're going to focus on the 1 Trunks you have in play, because all their other battle cards in play, they're going to focus on just literally taking out Trunks so they can now free play the Gamma. So a common strategy I do is, okay, cool, they have it. Obviously, don't make it easy for them, but don't make it impossible to where it's like, okay, now it's pointless to play Cell because it's just not worth it. So what I would do is let them go ahead, defend the first one. I'm like, okay, the next one they swing, I go ahead and just let the Trunks go. And after that, they play the Cell. They tap out. And this is why I told you, I don't just willy-nilly use Cooler for Android 14. Once they tap out and they're swinging a leader, I hit the leader with the Release from Evil. And I make sure, I'll go down to 1. I honestly don't care. Because if you guys see my build, it can hit you from like 5 to 0 in a blink of an eye. Just that fast. So I will sit there and I'll play it out. So they swing with their leader. I Release from Evil it. I'm like, okay, cool. Their leader's negated. Number 1, if they haven't played Cell yet, once they do play Cell, they just lost an energy, not even realizing it, because they're like, okay, cool, Trunks is on and play. Their leader is negated, so they're playing, they're playing Cell, and Cell comes in and does what it has to do, and that's pretty much it, because your leader is not replacing that energy, and at the end, they're not untapping anything. They're just playing the Cell just to play the Cell, I guess. And that's a common way I usually call my Gamma players. The ones that tend to not attack with me, I've seen that as well, because when players are playing like me, they watch and they say, okay, cool, I'm going to get to Eddie because I know Eddie main decks Release from Evil, which I do main deck it. The reason why I main deck certain cards, and that could be another video in itself, is because when you know you have a type of deck that 100% is going to make top cut, you want to construct your deck to where you have every available option in your deck for Bandai events, right? The reason being is because Bandai event, yes, it's the best of 1 pre-sideboard in Swiss, but once you get to top cut, it's going to be best of 3, and it's not pre-side, so it's just bam, higher seed goes first, and that's how it is. So you see in my main deck, I had Death Blasters, I had Release from Evil, I had T-Blows, but it's half and half, like it's 2, 2, 1, and the other half of it is in the sideboard, because once the game's 2 or 3 hits in top cut, I can just swap them out. And at pre-side, I can just swap out and max out. You guys know me. My deck profile, I like to max things out. The minimum you'll see is at 3. Usually it's usually going to be at 4. Because if I like a card, I don't just, oof, it's at 3. No, I love the card and it's going to be at 4. It's just worth that slot. So, real quick, let me catch up on comments because I don't want to fall behind. Is Trunks best without Robotic Repulse? Yes and no. Certain matchups, yes. Against Red, drop it. There's no point. Like, against U7, against GT, the reason why I didn't main board Robotic Repulse, don't look at my deck and say he doesn't. I didn't run those in my main board. Reason being is, anything Red, like, they have Vegeta, right? Versus Red cannot handle Black Kamehameha. So Black Kamehameha, the reason why I max out on it is because, once again, if I'm going against red decks such as U7, such as GT, they'll attack, I'll out combo it while handling 2 battle cards on their side of the field, which essentially is better than Repulse, right? Because Repulse, let's say against GT, they can still have a free swing by resting their unison. They can't do that if the card is already rested because you're Black Kamehameha. You see what I'm saying? So that's in cases like that, I do believe where Repulse is not as great as Black Kamehameha. Now, other decks, Repulse is lovely, such as the Gamma matchup, because the Gamma matchup, a lot of Gamma players tend to sit on their Android 17 because it is a barrier threat, and they understand they can't get Black Kamehameha, so swap out the 4 Black Kamehamehas for 4 Repulse. You see what I'm saying? Because it's the way Gamma plays. Yes, they can still respond and answer your Repulse, but at the same time, while doing that, it costs energy for them because the Android 18 on their turn is not 1 energy. And guys, do not get cheated. I saw players get cheated like that. Android 18 on your turn, on my turn, the opponent's Android 18 is 1 energy. On their turn, it does not cost 1 energy. The only thing they can do to you on their turn is God Sealing. If they run God Sealing, if you do, you do. And then you have, what's his face? The clown licking guy. I think his name is, it might be Android 15. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. The clown lick can do with the shade. He looks cool. He does have a cool effect because he bounces it. He's essentially God Sealing, but it's God Sealing for 2. Things like that. So that's why I didn't run Repulse in my main board. There's a lot of decks cards I don't run in my main board because, number 1, not like by doing that, players play around it and they hold dead cards in their hands. Like in a mirror match, right? They're going to hold a T-Blow for the street post. They could go for a game. And I'm like, yeah, you're holding on to an extra card that you should have been charged like forever ago. And let's see. In red, they're holding on to a Vegeta that, okay, cool. They could have used that 5k combo to out-combo an attack. We're like, no, I'll take this because on his turn, I'm going to kill him on the crackback. And the only thing I can stop me is riposte. So I'm going to hold on to a Vegeta and they're going to swing expecting, yes, I have the Vegeta. He's going to riposte. I say no negate. And he's like, oh, damn, okay, cool, 15. He doesn't have it. Cool. And next thing you know, I'm like, I have something better. Black Kamehameha, top one, and the rest of the other two battle cards. And it is what it is at that time and point. Also, a thing that you guys didn't see in the deck profile was the TPs. Those TP Vegeta ones, I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Those things are 4. Those things are busted. Like, when you combine those 4 TPs, the 1-drop TPs, Vegeta TPs, with the Black Kamehameha, it's absolutely insane. Because I can block the first attack. Usually, if they're swinging with a 15, they're not going to combo it. They're going to be like, okay, cool. There's no point to waste. He wasted his blocker, so now my other 2 guys are going to attack. And if they have, this is especially relevant when they have like 3+ guys in play, right? Because you can rest your Trunks to block the first attack, save it by using Black Kamehameha, or better case scenario, if they're playing it correctly while they're ordering, they're sequencing and ordering, and they're sequencing their attacks in order, you can just block. If they do out combo it, you combo 5k, you restand the Trunks. Better yet, if you don't even want to do that because you want to take damage, when you swing with your leader and you played the Trunks in rest mode, but you didn't have an evolved target, but you just wanted to draw, it's perfect because now you have an extra 5k combo part that they're not going to see coming, because it can also restand the 1-drop Trunks that got played in rest mode that just drew your card, but you didn't see your evolved target. So it's a lot of like tips and tricks like that where the combo part that I have, they did not see coming at all, and it's just OP like that. So I hope I answered your robotic repulse questions. In the main board, personally, I would not recommend it, but you can have it in the sideboard because it's just the example I gave of Gamma, where when they are playing a bunch of barrier threat guys, especially in the mirror match too, when they have stack on Trunks, they can't swing because you guys should know this by now, but you can't rest a barrier target in order to get around repulse. The same way you can't rest the 1-drop Sin Ball because it's unaffected by your opponent's skill. The same thing with barrier. So yeah, that's my whole thing on repulse. I just got my invite the other day with Gamma. Yeah, man, Gamma, congrats, Black Sun. But Gamma is a threat, man. Gamma is annoying. It's super, super, super annoying. And the only reason why I tell you guys I have it slightly higher than Trunks is because in Trunks, I main like certain text for it. Now, if Trunks was better, I wouldn't have to do it. And the example I'll give is flip it side around, right? For as Gamma, I don't really, if I was playing Gamma, there's nothing to main deck specifically for Trunks because my main deck already answers what Trunks can do. I think that matchup is favored for the Gamma player, but a good Trunks player that has a tech down deck, i.e. why a lot of cards you guys see, and it's like, yo, what is he doing? It's to beat that deck, because that deck is a real problematic, because that deck is really, really consistent as well. So, what's up, Eddie? Showing up, getting ready for Gen Con. Otakon, yeah, man. If you have any questions on Otakon, like I said, hit me up. I am going to be there. I'm not going to be judging. Hopefully, everyone comes and I get to play again, because I love to play. So, yeah, any questions to Otakon you have, like, deck, text, leader versus leader, let me know right now. I will answer the question for you. Randall says, if Eddie don't put back robotic repulse, card is trash, JK. No, I'm telling you, you have to outplay your opponent. It's the funniest thing ever. Like, man, that one energy I can use for repulse, I can just tap out offensively, literally play another 1-drop, like play a 1-drop Vegeta, play a 1-drop Trunks from my deck in rest mode, have the TP in hand, combo it off, restand my 1-drop, and if I ever get threatened, I just laugh. I'm like, yeah, I don't have the repulse, but I have the Frieza's Army Reinforcements, and I drop it, and I negate your attack, and I have a blocker. And not only do I have that blocker, I also have the TPs in my hands, which is going to restand my 19k. Like, it gets nutty. Like, it gets really, really crazy. And if you can't establish guys that are higher, that are at least 19, it's going to be rough because you're never going to get on my out. By the time you do, the game's going to be over because you're on the cards, because I'm going to keep swinging with the Trunks. And that's the biggest difference between my deck and other decks. I can swing with my blocker Trunks and not care, because I'm like, yeah, this guy's never going to die. Like, you're going to try to swing at him. If you do combo him to go to 20, that's most likely what you're going to do. All right, 15 to 19, the easiest thing to do, right? Hey, I'm going to combo to 20. Hey, perfect, man. I'm going to out-combo that by 5k, so I'm going to go to 24, and on top of it, I'm going to restand it, so now you're forced to swing into my leader to force you to give me more cards to make my Frieza's Army Reinforcements live and stuff like that. Just, you have to big brain your opponent, because when they sit down, they're not going to be able to process everything that's going on when you're not playing a real conventional style deck. Android 15. Yeah, that's what it's called. Android 15. Airfare again. What's up? Oh, what's up, Trey? What's up, my boy Trey? Oof, I saw your post earlier, man. We're gonna see you guys. I think I'm gonna solo dolo it up there at Otakon. My boys are busy, but they will be at Gen Con. I wanted to play Gen Con so bad, but they asked me to judge. I'm like, man, oh man, I am loving this format. This format is free, man. What about blue yellow trunks over mono yellow trunk? All right, so I can speak from experience. I played that matchup, and I'm telling you, he beat. Like I played against Eon, he beat me. But bro, if I had an entire deck, it would have been close because I could not defend my slug. Because the way my entire deck is built, once I have slug in play in a mirror match, it's over. You're never gonna be able to rip your slug. So instead of the 4 TPs that I had, I only had 1. So the way blue yellow works was he was able, like his hand size went down. He went down to 3 cards in hand for a bean, and the thing was I wasn't able to defend my slug because once again I only had the 1 TP. And now if you look at the deck profile, you're gonna say, hey, yeah, but it's only 4 cards. It's not 4 cards for me. It's 8 cards because it's realistically more than 8 cards because the Bowman 1-drop. I literally look at the top 7 cards from my hand. I will literally stack all those TPs to my hand. That slug will never leave my field. You're going to have to super over combo on the trunks to at which time and point I'm going to count and be like, yo, you just OD'd on this trunks. This trunks is gone. But now you're 100% not going to kill the slug because you have to go so hard on the trunks or else you need the trunks is going to restand. So the one advantage I will give the blue-yellow trunks is you could never really try to guesstimate how many attacks they have. Whereas in a mono yellow, if you see one with a slug, with the trunks, you know exactly how many attacks I can hit you. The only thing you're not able to account for is if I have an overall and what secret am I playing. That's it. With the blue yellow version, when it's their turn and all their energy untaps, you don't know if they're going to go swing 2 times with what's on board, or you don't know they're going to swing 10 times. That's just that's the nature of the game because it's a sensitive game. But I honestly like the mono yellow version better. 100% I like it better, man. Because like it's a tax deck, right? Whereas the blue yellow one too, you can steal some games where you're not able to steal games with mono yellow like you can in blue yellow. Because blue yellow you can just cool. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, snap, you're already at 2 life. The way I steal games is I lock you out the game. You're hit by, unless you're playing Gamma, once I drop that slug once again, I just stole the game because you're never going to get on the slug. Once I establish because another thing too, I don't play Krillin super combos. The reason being, good players will not willy-nilly swing and keep you at 4 life. They're going to like, no, I'll swing 1 time. Okay, cool. You're already at 6. You being at 6 means if you swing with anything that's not your leader, other than your leader, they're going to swing at that. They're going to swing at the 1-drop that you didn't have the evolve target to that's stuck in rest mode. They're going to swing at a Vegeta that you evolve and attack them with. They're going to swing at anything but your leader in order to not put you at 5. Because once you're at 5, once again, Frieza's army reinforcement is live. And they understand that. They understand that once they take care of your board because you keep swinging with it, your super combos are locked, as well as you have 8 cards that are locked. Your 4 Krillins or 3 Krillins if you're playing Piccolo, but your Krillin super combos are unlocked, as well as your Friezas are. That's a lot of dead cards that you're like, okay, cool, I want to hold on to it, but then it's like you're forced to charge them. And once you're forced to charge them, by the time they do attack you, it's like, this just sucks, man, because they control when you awaken. For me, there's a lot of games where I won. I was at 6 life. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're dead. The reason being is they try to farm my slug. And that's another reason, too, I can infinitely protect my slug. Not only do I have my TP that restands my Trunks blocker, my super combos are live. By the time you waste a bunch of cards to get rid of that slug, I'm going to have 5 cards in the drop. And then, just like that, my super combos are live and they drop me a card. Not only are they live, they're super searchable. Like, trust me, when you start filtering your deck and you're telling your opponent, listen, you can't draw cards, but I can, and my super combos are live. Because on my turn 2, I forcibly make them live, so I will have 5 cards in my drop. It's just absolutely nutty for you. Let's see what we got. Blah, 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 blah. Card game CP, what's up? I hear my boy John is with you. Trey, John. No. I hit him up. I told him if he needed a place to stay to hit me up, but he never hit me up. Yeah. I don't know where he's at. I told him to fly into Baltimore, honestly, because I'm in Baltimore now, and the place is only an hour away from me. But he never hit me up, so I'm guessing he's in DC. He's going to DC tomorrow or Friday, whenever he gets here. I get my opponent down to 2, turn 3, blocker negate for them to sack. Oh, another thing, while we're on the topic of life, when you're at Trunks, guys, 5 to 4 them. Don't try to save that last double strike for 2. Don't do it. Just 5 to 4 them. Like, literally, keep it simple. The worst case scenario for them is literally they token negate you, and now they put themselves down to 4, and then now you can focus on 2 from going to 2 to 0. Always 5 to 4 your opponent. It's the most awkward situation because when you 5 to 4 someone, they literally will defend every single last swing that you have because they're scared to go to 2 because they understand if you run a double strike, which I run 2 other double strikes in my deck, they're lethal range every time. So when I say lethal, for me, it's guaranteed lethal because I play Mira. That's why I keep telling you guys, like, my cooler, it's held on to me. That's the only reason why I play T-blows, because when I see cooler, I understand. I'm just waiting for the Mira, and I'm waiting for my energy to get right, because Mira has deflex. So I drop Mira down. If you're at 2, you're done. If you're at 3, you're done. If you're at 3, and I can time it right where, okay, cool, I can get you down to 1, and I don't care how much energy I have open, because I have the cooler in my hand, I have 4 open energy, because all I need is 1 for Mira and 3 for cooler, it's a wrap. And it's little things like that that got me around. So that's enough with the Gamma matchup. Another good card against Gamma, and it also is good against Trunks, and it's also good against everything else in the meta is BMS. That's just all I'm gonna say. Black Man Sane is really good. Black Man Sane, it's so fun when players ask me, how do you play around Black Man Sane? When I say, oh, I play right into it. And then they ask me, why do you play right into it? And how do you play right into it? And I'm like, yeah, you see those 4 1-drop Gohans in my deck? That's one of the reasons why they're in there. Because, yes, I'm going to have to discard for them when they do play each other. Because what happens is BMS trigger. It's going to be a never-ending loop. So I'll play out my guy because I need my guy to start off my engine. So if I have the Trunks, obviously I'm going to have to go get the Vegeta from that so I can turn 2. So I'll play it, I'll discard 2 Gohans. So what's going to happen is those 2 Gohans are going to come back out, and they're going to draw 2 cards, and it's going to re-trigger the Mass Sand. So any deck cards that I have, such as in a mirror match, I don't care for Release from Evil. I'm going to pitch 2 Release from Evils. I'm going to pitch a T-Blood and Release from Evil. I'm going to pitch whatever I do not need. And the thing that my opponent is not seeing is there is so much behind because they try to BMS my specific build, because now I manually just turn on my super combos on, because a lot of players win a die roll and they slap BMS game 2 and like, okay, cool, he's done. I'm like, no, you just seal the deal for yourself, because now when I do drop slug, my super combos are live because you helped me get them live with the whole BMS shenanigans, and I played around it with the actual 1-drop Gohan, because the 1-drop Gohan, since it was discarded by your effect, it comes into play. It drew me 2 cards, whatever the most dead cards in my hand at the time, whether it's Freezer's Army Reinforcements, Release from Evil, T-Blow, or even the other 1-drops, the 1-drop ones that searches from deck, I'm just gonna discard it because I want them in my drop area. So when they are trying to outslug, it's impossible for them, because not only can they not draw, they're probably still at 7 to 6 life, and it's an impossible situation for them. Black Sun Demon, thoughts on Boomer deck? That was my finals matchup. Were you playing? Oh, you were playing Gamma. You see, for Gamma, the only thing I think you can do to just clearly one-shot them is Kale. But Kale, I believe you have to have 7 energy, if I'm not mistaken, which is rough. But where for me, it's the freest thing. So this is why I lost to the eventual champion Eon. Eric. I was so pissed off when I didn't have my cards, man. I can show you my card order. It was 4 of the memories. I call him, shout out to Juha, bro. He showed me those Unisons. It's a skill drain. I didn't have them for launch. I had them for red blue. So I hate people who try to get cheese wins, right? It's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna just sneak in here and I'm gonna try to play cooler than Trey. Since you're in here, Trey Faircloth, I'm gonna try to get this sneaky win with cooler, right? I'm like, all right, bet, fam. All right, I'm gonna show you. This is where being a judge and being a player gets broken as hell. And this is God's honest truth. Why sometimes I just judge the game and I like, damn, it's really cool to judge and get that aspect from other players as well as judges. So once I hit turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, you will never be able to get anything off, because that skill is, I think it's called Son Goku Forever in Our Memories. It costs 3. You play it for 3. If you're at 5, you have Frieza's army tokens. Now you're going to say, Eddie, yeah, but you just turn your tokens into skillless tokens. They're nothing. That's not true, because it negates everything that's 5 and less. Tokens do not have a cost, meaning the tokens are blockers. So they're gonna be in this never-ending loop where they're never gonna be able to touch your unison. And then them never being able to touch your unison allows you to just blow them out and one-shot them. Because now when they are arriving coolers, that's fine. They just arrival at 20k that does nothing, and it just costs energy. I'm like, alright, bet fam, cool. They arrival, whatever this is, that does absolutely nothing because they came in, like, it's a permanent, dude. Like, you can't do anything. That's one of the cards, a playset of those cards. And the reason why I say a playset, I understand you can play one, I understand it get clunky. Reason being, once again, the 2 cards that would come in would be a playset of that and a playset of Frieza's army reinforcements, because every single turn you want to stack a unison under to gain a mark. You want to make that unison unremovable. Like, it's just sitting there looking at them like, yeah, you thought she was going to cheese me and you're the one who ended up getting cheese. So it's really, really good. But that's specifically for yellow. For blue decks, I think the only 2 viable blue decks that you can play right now, don't get upset. I know people love Vegito, people love all this good stuff, but the only 2 decks that I would pick up, I wouldn't pick up the blue deck, but the only 2 real blue decks I pick up would be SS4 and it would be Gamma. And both those decks can take you to turn 7, and you can just Kel, and you'll just board wipe everything. And they can't do anything to stop it, because I believe Kel has deflect, if I'm not mistaken. And then after you kill them, you can literally just Android 17 away, and that's GG Nori from there, broski. And that's going to be games. That's it. Like, you got to game 1, and that was it. If they don't scoop right then and there, the game's just over, and try to save time. For other colors, such as green, such as black, you have answers. You have Koetsukai. Koetsukai is another. Oh my goodness gracious, Koetsukai is so broken. That's another reason why I don't play Ripples. Koetsukai is criminally being underplayed. All my U7 players, I love you guys as players, but I hate you guys as competitive players for not maxing on a Koetsukai. Koetsukai's answers every single BS floodgate. That just distracts you, right? The only other I consider a floodgate is Sensu Beam, because it puts everything at 15. But you have to understand, Trunks, they're gonna lose 1 energy for repulse. They're gonna lose one card in repulse, and then 2 cards following that, because they played repulse. They play any of the Eddie negates that spits out the tokens. They're gonna take a life, and they're gonna spit out 2 cards from their hands. They play the Android 14. They're gonna lose 4 cards from hands, and they're gonna lose 2 energy. They play Charismatic, they're going to lose the Charismatic, and they're going to lose 2 more cards from their hands. Like, any deck currently right now that you as a U7 player are playing against, Koetsukai will help you to seal the deal. Every single turn past turn 2, turn 3, because turn 2, you forget, that should be your awakened turn. That's another thing too. When I play my U7, a lot of players like to just slam the Unison, because that's just whoever said the go-to play for U7. I don't do that. The Unison is only for Unison-based decks. Like, if I'm going against something like Cooler, and I'm like, okay, cool, he's about to farm me, yes, I'm going to slam my Unison. If I'm going against something like, I don't know, let's say I don't have a Koetsukai in by that time and point, okay, yeah, I might slam my Unison just to get an attack through repulse, right? Because you want to be able to proactively play the game versus reactively play the game. If I don't see that, yeah, I do that. But if I'm going against something like Gamma, I'm like, oh, I bet, fam. Like, I'm not playing that unit. What am I meant playing that Unison for, man? Come on now. The thing with U7, and this is the reason why I think U7 has been watered down a lot, is once you do that on turn 3, I don't think you understand how fragile your deck becomes. Because unless you have Scions turn 1, and you took your opponent down to like 4 or 5 life on your first series of attacks, you're playing like a control U7 deck, bro. Like, okay, your turn 1 was gone because you didn't play Scions. Now your turn 2 is the only time you can actually explode, and they're probably going to take all that damage. You know why? Because that's probably going to be the last time they take any damage, because your turn 3 play, they're probably going to clear your board. Not probably, they are going to clear your board on a crackback versus going for your leader, because you're probably going to be tapped once you do tap for the Unison. And I was like, okay, cool, I understand that. Gamma, play 17, keep playing 17, keep playing 17, you have no response. Swing, swing, swing. U7, you can't just sit here and burn your hand defensively trying to save these little guys on board. The whole theory with U7 is you want to win, and you want to win quick. When you're trying to prolong the game, now the fact that you tapped out on turn 3 for a Unison, meaning next turn, if you tap out for a 4 drop, because they overwhelm their board and you're forced out by the 4 drop, you're never gonna win that match, man. So yeah, you 7 guys, I think the reason why you guys are falling behind is because you're not maxing out on Quetch. I'm not trolling. I actually, I play like when I play U7, I play the test against him a lot. U7, when you max out on Quetch guys, says unless you have something that literally says no, like Baby Hatch, it's game. Because the decks that you do take the Quetch cards out, in my opinion, would be against green decks. Then you put the Hidden Ambitions Vegeta so they can't dormant you for free. It's just, it's GG Nori, man. Like, U7 is powerful. I just think a lot of players are, they're playing it to a point where their energy is not being spent to bring their opponent down to 0. It's being spent to make them look good, but it's like you're not gonna look good if you lose the match. I'm just being honest with you, broski. And then if you lose game 1, it's already down. Well, I guess it's pre-sideboard. But if you're playing best of 3, like in Top Cut, it's already downhill for you because most likely all the defensive cards that they didn't have in game 1 are coming in game 2. You see what I'm saying? Like that's not a position you want to be in. Let's see. Red says a well-timed Koichi is so strong. Yeah, I trust me. When I play on Untap, bro, and I'm playing U7, literally on my turn 2, I'm like, okay. I assess the situation. I'm like, okay, they don't have it in this. All right, perfect, fam. I may say, you know what? I'll let them neg 2 because there's times at point. Like I said, just because you have it doesn't mean you should use it. Now, if I have a Frieza and I have a Android 17 in play and I did my silent turn 1 or something like that, oh, you damn right, I'm about to do it. I'm about to coit you. But if I only have, let's say, a 17, or if I only have a Golden Frieza which swings twice and a Leader Swing, and the Android 14 me, bro, you can have it. Like, go ahead and pitch your 2 cards and lose the 2 energy. That's fine. Next turn, when you try to do that again, I'm going to tax you, and you're not going to do it. You see what I'm saying? It's things like that. Once again, just because you have it doesn't mean you should use it. Assess the situation first. Yeah, what other comments, questions, or concerns you guys have? Like I said, ask away. This is one of the times you get things for free. Because I know a lot of times, like the good stuff, we gotta shift it over to the PPG Patreon. But right now, you're getting me one-on-one for free, man. So whatever you got, just make sure you ask. Have you playtest with Cell Reboot? That doesn't have a. I don't play the chain. All right. The thing you should know about, I'm a really bad person to ask for decks because when I speak about a deck, I don't play it conventional. When my Cell list, I don't play the chain. I'm not gonna lie to you. My Trunks, I don't. You saw my Trunks deck list. I don't play any. I don't play Turtle. Bro, this is not Icarus, bro. You don't need Turtles when you have Vegeta. You don't need Goku if you have Trunks. You don't need Poutine if you have Trunks, and especially each and every single person, their mama's mama, is making you forcibly. Like GT, they're gonna play the 1-drop barrier trunk. They're gonna play that barrier trunks guy that triggers the trunk. So what? I'm gonna burn a Poutine too at the same time. Makes no sense. So I play the Poutine. You see what I'm saying? U7, they're gonna literally play something that's BS that they don't care about. Like the 1-drop 17, when they mill it, now you just burnt the trunks and you burn the Poutine. Come on, man, that's sweet, bro. That slot that I had for Poutine could have been an extra double strike, the hidden power E Supreme Kai, which now can allow me to go for a game. That could be a mirror, deflect, infinite attack. You see what I'm saying? Like that one slot that players just say, man, everyone's doing it. It's always been in here. I'm just going to follow it. Miss me with that, bro. Like, you have to be able to innovate your deck. There's sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, there's scales that it's hard to deviate from, but you have to, like, sit there and assess the situation. Always try. My theory, guys, anyone on the team, I tell people, do your best to simplify the game state. The more you can simplify the game state and make it complex for your opponent, the easier the game will be for you. My gameplay, my game strat is simplified itself. If I'm going against anyone that's not playing Gamma, I'm going to establish Trunks. Right after Trunks, I'm not going to swing at you. I'm not going to turn your stuff on. Everything I swing on, I'm not going to combo because I don't want you to start using your super combos early. If you at 4 or less, everything I swing with you, I'm going to make sure you can out combo it by 5k or you're just going to take it. By the time I swing at you and you're forced to combo things that like super combos that get you out of it, the slug is going to be in play. That's what I'm talking about when you have to simplify the game state. And I know the slug will never leave the field. It's things like that. How do you build your side deck? My bad, I skipped one. Yeah, so Red, I hope I answered your question. I'm a really bad person to ask for deck builds and stuff because mine are not conventional, but I live on Untap. Like when I'm babysitting my kids, even when I'm taking a dump, whatever I'm doing, bro, I live on Untap, man. So my builds are not conventional. I don't play the chain. U7, It's like Bajex. Me playing U7 is like I'm playing Bajex, man. I'm punishing each and every single turn. There's no this, there's no that, there's no this around that. Now, there's gonna be a time. I don't want to talk about U7 because I don't feel like playing it. U7 is honestly annoying. But Cell, I don't play the chain. What other decks do I have? And I also play Yellow Unison Goku. I haven't picked the name yet because I want to be the first person to actually do something with a deck. Now I'm going to be the one who picks the name. That's how it should work, right? You dominate with the deck, so you get to pick the name. Have you seen the new Turn 8 Gohan from the new set? No, Gabe. I don't pay attention to the new stuff. Because the reason being is when you really try to look on the new stuff while you still have upcoming events in the same format, like Gen Con and like Otakon, you tend to get lost because that's when you see people like they're testing Zenkai. Like they're testing Gamma right now. I jump in a bunch of them, like, bro, please, I'm trying to test for Otakon. They're testing Gamma with Zenkai stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. You can get in a hang with that and get a build for that. But you have to understand, when you're sitting across from an Otakon, you're not going to be able to do this because Zenkai's not out yet. And that's how you get like false results. And I don't think it prepares you correctly. But when these events are gone after Gen Con, I'll be glad to answer it. Because I'm like, well, I didn't test. Yeah, I saw it on the Facebook group, but I'm not sitting there, doing this and doing that's just not me. So. How do you build your sideboard? Do you build to make your bad matches better? Do you make your good matchups an auto win, or do you just? All right, that's a great thing. All right, I'm gonna do my best once again to simplify the game and explain that because that's a video in itself. A lot of players build their sideboards to answer their worst matchups, and I think that's a huge mistake. Yes, people can get away with it now because it's pre-sideboard best of one, but you have to understand, if you get out that mindset and really build your deck, knowing that you're going to go into the top cut, you will see that in top cut, you will get exposed and you'll give away game one, which is not good at all. So if you look at my deck list, right, I don't want to pull it up because you're going to see all the other shenanigans I'm trying to play. But I'll pull it up next time because my real deck list, if you guys were to see it, it's things in there for everything. There's things in there for everything. Like Release from Evil, the only deck it's actually in there for is for my Unison decks, and it's for the Gamma deck. That's it. Everything else, the mirror match is just energy. But that's what you have to understand it, right? It's a split between I have T-Blows at 2, I have Release from Evils at 2. I understand against Trunks matchups, Release from Evil, if I see it, it's going straight to energy. It's dead. Like it's doing nothing for me. I have to understand when I see it in Gamma, it's going to stay in my hand. I only play that too of, you damn right, when the sideboard comes, I'm maxing that bad boy out. And there's other cards that you have to mix and match with, like the Gohans, right? The Gohans are, I'd say, the weakest point in my main deck, but the Gohans, I find use for them because in the Gamma matchup, when you start hitting for certain numbers correctly, they'll have to super combo, and they will end up coming off the 16 that says discard a card. That discard a card, that's when you got to hit it correctly and then draw a card. You have to profit off things like this. Against red decks, a good underrated red card currently is Topo. People aren't playing cards that stop Topo. They're playing cards that stop things like Repose that are 15k or less. They're not playing cards that stop 20k. So Topo is really solid. I was going against against Eric. He topoed me. I pitched the 2 Gohans. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, bro, you're done. So I was going against AOD. AOD is another annoying match. I'll tell you right now, AOD will probably be at Otakon only because when I judge the 2-minute game regionals, this isn't kind of in the same area. There was a crap load of AOD, and there was also, I believe, a couple AOD this past weekend. It was the funniest thing. AOD, he played there's an actual Lord Slug card, a green one. I think it's a 2-drop. And you play it for free. He plays it for free, and I just discard a card. So I discarded the Gohan. I played the Gohan, but he responded with Android 13. So the Android 13 stopped the first Gohan from coming in and even pitched another card. So I just pitched another Gohan. I'm like, okay, cool. We could keep playing this game over and over again. But the real reason why I have Gohan in my main board, and this is a perfect example, and I hope this answers your question, Rebel, is because Trunks will all lose against hand destruction. A great deck that I'm scared to say, but I'll say it because I love you guys, is Radix. Radix is a scary, scary, scary deck. Radix will destroy your hand. Trunks will auto-lose against hand destruction. I do not want to say, even as irrelevant as hand destruction is, I am not going to lose game 1 to hand destruction. Pre-side or not pre-side. I don't want to have that mindset where I'm like, okay, cool. in Top Cut, if they do make it, I'll just get them game 2 and 3. No, this is not. Oh, you're not Pegasus. You're not gonna see the next card in your deck and know exactly how to play around stuff. You don't want to auto win. Auto give someone the game 1. That's neg to me. So that's a perfect example to give you. I have specifically those Gohan. They're at 3. They're not at 4. It's specifically for hand destruction decks. And the only other relevant deck that I have it in against, besides AOD, besides things like Gamma, which can come off the 16 and make you discard one, is against Cell. Whoever sized my Cell earlier. I will specifically not look at your unison. I'll make sure my life is healthy, but I don't even look at your unison sway, because if I don't do that, once it gets to turn 7, it will instantly next 7 it, look at my life, and make me pitch 3 cards. I've done it multiple times where it's just literally 3 Gohans back to back to back. You're like, yo, what the hell just happened? I'm like, yeah, broski. The reason being is because once it hits 7, they'll understand that, okay, now they're actually going to start swinging at my stuff. And you can, trust me, you can make it to the point where if they do hit 7 and don't next 7, they're going to regret it. Because they're going to be able to dormant and block you, because you'll have Black Kamehameha to arrest the cells and then time lock them out. So, to answer your question, it's a really simplified, it's not doing it justice, but the best thing I can tell you is do not have the mindset where, okay, if I see this deck, they're just going to have it in game 1. And it's a different, even though it's a different format where it's pre-sideboard best of 1, you have to understand Top Cut is not pre-sideboard best of 1. It goes to best of 3. You do not want to give a Top Cut match, especially if you're the lower seed, to just that's absolutely mind-baffling to me. Can you imagine I'm playing Trunks, I finish second in Swiss, and then it's the finals matchup, right? And the first place guy was playing Radix, and then he goes first. He has the first opportunity to rip my hand. I have zero interest in hand destruction in my main board. So I just say, you know what, go ahead. I'm going to give you game. Nah, fam. It don't work like that right here, bro. So that's how I construct my sideboards. But I'm not gonna max everything out in my main board. I split it half and half. That's why you see a lot of 2-2s, or 3-3s, because the way it goes from 2 to 3, in my opinion, is if it can hit multiple decks. Like T-Blow hits multiple decks. It's not just Gamma. It's not just Cell. It's not just U7. It's literally any deck that plays like anything. Like everyone plays the 1-drop nowadays. I can play the 1-drop, negate that, and then negate whatever else. It's whatever other card. The only restriction it has, the incoming card which you actually activate the counter play on, should be a 3 or less battle card. That's it. Other than that, it says after you negate that, you negate any other card. That's it. Like it is what it is. So I hope I answered your sideboard question in a really simplified way, because that's a complex answer that, like I said, that's a whole video in its own. Let's see what else we got. U7. So we talked about U7. We talked about Gamma. I think the only thing with U7's biggest downfall is 2 mistakes. They're in this routine where, because back then, the norm for U7 was, okay, the only time they actually tap multiple energy would be for the turn 4 plays. The turn 4 play is going to be a Secret Rare, or the turn 4 play is going to be the Goku, which is understandable, because at that time and point, your turn 2 play is like a Goku Frieza. This is Goku Frieza, excuse me. Android 17, dual attack Frieza. Your turn 3 play should have been an Android 17, dual attack Frieza, the Goku. You see what I'm saying? So turn 4 is understandable. But you tapping on 3 just because people say you should tap on 3 for that unison. The unison is great. Don't get it twisted. But man, just because I have a T-Blow and I have 1 battle card, a Trunks in play in my leader, and I swing on my leader, and you Android 14, doesn't mean I should T-Blow you. Because to get that 1 trunk swing, which you're going to 100% off combo. You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense. The same. That's the best way I can describe topping on 3 every single match, because that's just what players do. What do you think will be the highest Trunks and Gamma? That's why I'm focusing on those 2 decks, Trunks and Gamma. I do believe there are other decks that are not going to be successful, but I do believe there's other decks that can compete. But the 2 highest represented decks is going to be Trunks and Gamma. That's just facts. It's crazy because the last 1, 2, 3, 4 events, a red deck is won. But the highest represented deck, it's usually Trunks or it's usually Gamma. But red just sweeps it in. You see what I'm saying? It's things like that, which you want to be prepared for. So what other questions, comments, or concerns do you guys have for me? What time is it? 10:49. Try to stick on for 10 more minutes to answer any more questions, comments, or concerns. If I were to pick a sleeper pick, I keep telling you, I love the Goku deck. I'm not gonna call it Dripku because I wanna make it a name for it. I want to be the first one to do something with it. I'm still as much as I want to play Trunks because I want to play my maximized list. I'm like, bro, it is what it is, right? It's already released on Patreon, and it's like it's out there. It was a surprise factor. When you see the final list, you're like, yo, this you. If you're playing Trunks and you're playing Mono Yellow, copy man. I'm not trolling you. Copy the list. Don't. If you're playing Blue Yellow, don't copy it because you can't mix in Slug with Blue Yellow. You can't mix. I'm not gonna say the other text, but you can't. There's certain texts you cannot mix in. You can, but you're not gonna be successful. There's certain texts you do not want to mix in while playing Blue Yellow, and there's certain texts you do. So yeah, that's for that. Black Sun says, any expectations for balance of Ace going to Zenkai? Not saying anything needs to be banned. Not really. I can see a bunch of erratas though, unfortunately, and like because like I said, I'm looking at it from a judge perspective and as a player perspective. I can see a bunch of way mechanics are going to be rewritten in order to control Zenkai. Because Zenkai is essentially a bunch of reboot leaders and battle cards. But instead of asking us to reboot those leaders and battle cards, they're just giving us an extra that can say, all right, cool, here it is. Like, there's no point to do reboot leaders, am I right? Because you just print it as a Zenkai leader and you play it over whatever it is. Like the Mecha Frieza leader, that's still not the second one. People think the first one's banned. The first one's not banned. The first one is errata. So if they ever make a new Mecha Frieza, instead of rebooting it, it's just a Zenkai leader, which you just slap on top of it. So I don't think it'll be hits. I think it'll be a bunch of rewording of certain skills. For instance, like decks that are going to be really combo decks, like combo centric decks. But the thing about it, combo centric decks, there's only one. There's one generic unison that just does everything, and that's the 17-18. So if I can't see something getting not hit, I don't think it's problematic, but I can see that getting limited because the other one that Red specifically has a combo. It's the Freezer, right? You're like, Red has one too, Eddie, but Freezer specifically has a combo out of Vanilla. And then Yellow has one. Yellow specifically has to combo out of Vanilla. So yes, those two colors have it, but Gamma combos out any 5K. So I think that's an unfair advantage that's granted to them. But it is what it is, man. I don't think it's broken. I think it's perfectly fine. So I'm trying to think what other cards. I don't think any cards need to be hit. I think I would say if Gamma was in a deck, I would say Slug needs to go because Slug is. Players, trust me, they would have fought. They would have fought me at the New Jersey event. I sat across round 2 from a Golden Frieza player. He couldn't play the game. He was just he was just locked. I played against ALD. The ALD player was locked too because I was just sitting on Slug and he finna TP to restand my blocker and then the Black Kamehameha to stand like he was stuck. Played against GT. I cleared his unison and I did not. I made sure I could not get him down to 4 life so he could go ahead and awaken and tap one for the unison until I had Slug in play because the unison draws a card. Yes, you can add a card under it and gain a marker, but I shut down your entire engine because all those cards that are played require you to draw a card. You can still play them, but you lose to draw a card. I think Slug is problematic, but it's not problematic right now because there's a lot, way more than Trunks right now, and I think that's why I'd say Slug is safe. I'm trying to think ban cards. The only card I hated for the longest, I didn't think it needed a ban. I didn't think it needed an errata, was Baby Hatch. Because I don't think Baby Hatch should be free. I think Baby Hatch should either cost a life. If it is free, it should cost a life. Or if it was free, it should cost like an energy or something, which is fine. But I don't think you should just be able to, at any time and point, say, hey, if you're not playing yellow or if you're not playing blue, there's nothing you can do to Baby Hatch. Or I guess green with the Majin Buu Secret Rare. I don't think you should just be able to say, I'm going to pitch one card, go down to 1 life, and just say, hey, your turn's over. I think it should be something like Pan, where you can swing with your unison, with your Zenkai leader. I think it needed an errata, but I don't think it's going to happen because it's already getting reprinted. Let's see what we have. We have, how do you feel about the rise of blue leaders again, like SS3? And don't hate me. If you're playing blue and you're not playing Gamma, you're just doing yourself a disservice. I'm being honest with you. Gamma, it's OP. Like, the concept behind it, which we could have saw, it's based on the movie. But not the deck, but the leader itself. It's based on the movie. It's just OP. Like compared to all the other blue decks that are not obviously Janemba, because Janemba is a different playstyle, but Janemba is also a solid pick. Honestly, Janemba and Cooler, you can mill people out. You can mill people out this format. You can mill. I'm gonna say you can mill people out easily this format. Yeah, because like think about it. You're playing SS4, right? So you're playing SS4, and you're playing. Yeah, SS4 is probably the only other deck, I'm going to be honest with you, where I could be like, you know what, go ahead and play SS4 over Gamma. I'm not going to lie to you. But, like, not including Janemba, because that's not really a blue deck. That's a mill archetype. A specific blue deck, like, even that deck with Goku where you take a life, that new one that untaps one at the end, it's like, it's cool, but, like, man, that was a Gatsu deck, right? It Gatsu deck, like, day one, people know what to do now. Um, I don't really like it. So blue, in my opinion, don't hate me, but blue, it's still baby hatch. Not baby hatch. The hatch. I keep saying hatch. The baby deck is not really a real deck to me. But if you're playing yellow, you're already problematically screwed because my build personally, I have access to 4 T-blows. So not only have access to 4 T-blows, I have access to 2 coolers as well. So things you do play, it's not like Gamor's like, okay, cool, I'm going to do this. Like, no, you're tapping 3. You're tapping like 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're tapping energy now for that stuff. And it just got negated. And it's like, well, damn, now you have to D-Magic. So my next attack, I'm going to attack with something that I didn't even want to go through because I know you're forced to D-Magic to take the life regardless and untap 2 energy so you don't get blown out. It's things like that where I don't really look at blue like that. But blue is solid. I wanted Vegito to work, man, but like I'm just looking at the blue leaders. Okay, let's see if I could just pull up some blue leaders on my thing. DBS Deck Planet. Let's see if I could just pull up some blue leaders to see what's up with blue. Because blue it's rough, man. Oh, I like this. I like this Zamasu. I think that's criminally underplayed as well. As a blue leader, Zamasu, it's. I'm just gonna say that. I think it's just really underrated. SS3, I'd rather just take Gamma. Like, I'm just going down the list. This is cool, but like, I wouldn't put myself in a position where I'm not having max consistency on stuff. That's obviously good. Android 16, but I don't really consider it blue deck. It is blue and Gamma. Yeah, that's it, man. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I did my best to look at it. Like it is what it is, bro. Like I wouldn't recommend decks outside of those. So I hope I answered that question. What else we got? Soul Striker. Soul Striker is not dead. But it does hurt. It's not dead. In my opinion, if you're playing Soul Striker, play some Awakeners, but play Critical Awakeners. You know what I'm saying? Try to go a crit out or something. Try to do something unique that can catch your opponent off guard. Where it's like you're playing your 8 1-drop critical guys. You're swinging with their Goku. Your Goku is drawing a card, but it's now comboing like the red Frieza that gives it crit. Like make something unique. That's like, oh damn, I'm playing Soul Striker. I just got clapped. I didn't see a card for the entire game. And like your Unison, it's like a dual attack, like the Gogeta, it's a dual attack one. Like make something unique. Like I said, I spend a lot of time on Untap playing this game, so I'm really bad to ask like decks that are good because when I see a deck, I don't look at it conventional at all. So I look at it from a standpoint where I would make it unique, which would catch people off guard. Let's see. Hold on, my bad. Possibly Soul Striker. Answer that. Thoughts on U7 going into Otakon? I honestly, if I don't see U7 at Otakon, next event, I'm playing. Oh, no, I can't say that because I can't play at Gen Con. If I were to play at Gen Con on one of the days, I would play U7. I think it's absolutely. Well, Robbie's going to be there. So Robbie will show you guys. That's mind baffling to me. Like, absolutely mind baffling to me that U7, it's not mind baffling. It's not mind baffling that it's not topping. It's mind baffling that players don't catch on why it's not topping. And I told you why. It's literally your turn 3 play. You're doing things that players that it happen, and it's like, oh yeah, this is the way to do it. Like it's like no man. Like there's so many adaptations that happen. I think the first highest ranking U7 list was Robbie. It was at the Miami Fest, and he got 3rd place or 4th place, I believe, and he was playing Scions. I honestly love the Scion build. So I think the faster you're able to get your opponents down in life, the more insanely valuable U7 becomes. Because the problem with U7, once again, I'll describe it to you. You swing your turn 1, they're not gonna care. Most decks nowadays go down to 6. So you swing your turn 1, they take it, they don't take it. They're gonna take it. I'm not gonna say they're not gonna take it. I'm gonna guide you correctly. They take the life. Your turn 2 play, the best you have is your leader swing, the Golden Frieza, and the 17. You're going against Gamma, one of those two are going to get bottom deck by the 18, right? So realistically speaking, it's going to be probably the Golden Frieza. They're probably going to let you swing with the 17, out combo the 17, or just block the 17, because when you try to play Golden Frieza, they did not have a blocker on, and then take or not take your leader swing, which they don't even try to 14 you, because like, okay, cool. On your turn 3, yeah, you're faced with a decision. You can say, okay, you're at 6 still. So now we're really going to push your, you know what, in by using Quetzalcoatl, by using another Golden Frieza, by using another, because now that you're Quetzalcoatl on your turn 3 versus just slamming the unison, if they do respond to it, the first thing you would do is use the Quetzalcoatl, right? So you Quetz, you Golden Frieza. They Android 18 you, they lost 18, they lost 2 more cards. You can now either respond to that with a 19 to keep your hand size up, to blow it up, to draw a card, or a 17 to keep your hand size up and find your super combo. It's things like that. Like, when you start thinking outside of the box, like, those decks should be topping, will top again, in my opinion. Don't put yourself in a box to begin with. That's not a good way of thinking in playing this game. I've been working on an aggro cell reboot deck. Can I? Yeah. You could always send it to. I'm not gonna lie, my inbox is like super backed up though. That's why I did this live. Like, it's a lot of players hit me up. I'll tell you right now, my cell list. If you're around Juha, you gotta ask. I think he's the only one who's seen it. It doesn't have the chain in it, but I will take my turn 3. Your hand will be 0. It's it's a thing of beauty, man. The only way that I keep losing with that deck when I was playing him, he was playing U7 and he would consistently draw his secret, right? And it just resets the game. I'm like, that sucks. So I stopped playing it because U7 was a thing, but U7 is not a thing. So I might check that build out again. Shifal, with so many decks having cheap plays to trigger Poutine and Trunks, would y'all not be able to stop Unison? Do you really think Vegeta Trunks is still favorite against an opponent that won't easily fall for the tricks? Yeah, 100%. It's not tricks, right? Because if you look at my build, it's not a trick. When Slug is on board, there's no trick behind it. There's no use your super like. There's times at point where people use Krillin against me and didn't draw, because you can still use Krillin. You can just, it's just you don't draw cards. You know what I'm saying? Because there's times where I was going for a game, they comboed Krillin off to just combo it off and stay alive. If you're, I don't want to say Mother Tech. If you're going in for a game and you got stopped, and now it's like, yo, you're playing mono yellow, and now all you have is one energy open for a post, and I T-blow it, you're screwed. You see, it's not. I wouldn't say it's gimmicks. Gimmicks to me, it's like you're playing that blue deck, that blue Goku deck that'll one-shot you, because you can go to the 7-drop one that swings, and if you have a counter, it's a triple strike, you can't counter. That's gimmicks to me. If I drop, so if like Gamma, if Gamma drops at 17, 18 on you, it's not gimmicky, because if that thing is on board, you don't clear it with the secret rare, you don't clear it with your battle cards. At some time and point, it may be twice, but at least at one time and point in the game, that thing is going to be a 25k base dual attack swing into the dome. That's not gimmicky. That's factual. If I slam the slug on you and you're not Gamma, it's factual saying your deck just got shut down. If I'm playing any deck and you're trying to floodgate me and I have a T-blow in my hand, it's not gimmicky where it's like, oh man, he has this. No, it's factual. I'm going to use my one energy to counteract your investment, and I'm going to blow you out. You see what I'm saying? It's things like that. So I think Trunks has the answers to everything. That deck that I had was just, once again, it was not my complete list. It will struggle in a main board with that specific list because it was not complete against Gamma. But the list that I have in the main board, you're golden, bro. Like, you're golden. They're not going to see. They're like, yo, who the hell main decks against that? They're like, what am I playing? And it's best of one. This is the best thing about it. I think best of one, it shines for people who love to deck build. Because if you're a great deck builder, man, you will shine in best of one. Because they're like, yo, do you really play this? Or did you sideboard it? I'm like, no, I haven't. Trust me, bro. Like, it's maxed out after sideboard. But in the main board, it's in there. It's like Slug. Slug is 3-3. After sideboard, if I'm going against Trunks, it's 4-4. It's maxed out. Because I might be bored. I might be like, you know what? Okay, cool. You did out combo this to a point where it's like, I could out combo it, but you went down to like 3 cards in hand, right? And I can do the same thing and go down to 3 cards in hand, or I can keep my 8 cards in hand, let it die, and it's reestablish your slugs next turn again. You see what I'm saying? So now you're definitely not gonna be able to clear it. It's things like that. So I wouldn't say Trunks is gimmicky, and it's hard. Like you can know that I run the TPs to attack with Trunks and restand it. What can you do about it? There's no tricks behind it because literally, are you gonna out combo it and go a super combo, knowing that I have a super combo that can mash you even though I'm not at 4 life yet? Like you see what I'm saying? And I can still restand it on top of it. It's like it's rough, bro. It's rough. Also, at 30 minutes rounds, I found in Jig. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's I don't need 30 minutes because if you can't draw cards, get slugs on board, you're gonna die. It's just how it is because the Vegeta without comboing is a 20k, requiring you to have even the realm cards draw a card. You cannot draw a card. You can out combo it, but every single time now I swing, and it's not gonna just be 20. This way you have to use your math because if you understand that super combos are off, everything has to be 25 because now they're giving you a super combo that doesn't draw them a card plus a card. So each 25k swing eats 2 cards. It's literally you're eating 2 cards each and every single time you swing with 25. So it's really, really powerful. I think Vegito is a good blue lead. I do too, but I think it's outvalued by a lot of stuff in a current meta. But it's solid. It got like that because of the Android 17, 18 units. When it very first came out, that's the first thing I thought of. But I'm like, there's just too much value in the current decks right now. Thoughts on Green Cooler? Don't hate me. I just shake my head no. Don't hate me though. Don't hate me. It's a good deck. Great deck. Great deck. Players will still play it. I would never play a deck. If it was best of 3, maybe. I would never play a deck that I'm going to an event and it's a best of 1 pre-sideboard and players are prepared for it. So I'm telling you right now, even though hand destruction may not be a thing, you should fear hand destruction. Because if I'm someone that really loves hand destruction, if I had Ruby Rams, I'd probably bring hand destruction to an event, I'm not going to lie to you, and play Android 13 and just kill everyone. Because, like, the chances are people are playing, like, maybe 2, maybe 3 Deborahs because they're like, you know what, because of Cooler. Some people don't even respect Cooler. They're like, I'm not going to have any Deborahs at all. You're just going to go, it is what it is. I'll just pitch a deck card. This is where you got to punish. And this is why I tell you, deck building and pre-sideboard best of 1 rewards good deck builders and people who invest their time because players it takes 1 game because all you do have is that 1 game. It's not best of 3, and it's like, yo, you just got rewarded because your deck was better than your opponent's straight up. So it's a solid deck. The thing I give Cooler, it's a very consistent deck. It will do what it has to do without a fault. That's one good positive I do give Cooler, and it's very powerful for people who just completely neglect it. Even though I don't like it and I don't recommend it, I had main deck answers to Cooler. I had the you can't answer release from you. Like once you neg 4, I'm like, GG no ring, my friend. You just swung. That guy's not gonna restand. You lost your blocker and you lost your 30k. I'll give it to Daddy because that card I'm gonna take that 1 damage. It's no longer triple. That 1 damage I'm about to pick up because it's stuck. I'm gonna use it to kill you with on the crackback. So we've been messing with Cell as aggro deck and playing like Mass and Reboot. The Cell list I had, it wasn't really aggro. It was more like if you're an attacking deck, which every deck is, you're just gonna lose your hand because like every single time I attack or you attack, I'm ripping cards. It's bad. It's bad. It's really, really bad. Like really, really bad. Because the thing about that deck too, in a pre-sideboard best of 1, they're expecting a chain, they're expecting all this. They're not gonna put in the boards, they're not gonna put in Gohans, they're not gonna put in the Vegeta 1-drops. Reason being is because they're like, okay, cool. By the time he rips cards from my hand, I should be able to have an opportunity to win the match because it's turn 5, it's turn 6. The earliest is turn 5. You see what I'm saying? But the way I play it, if you don't have all those cards opening hand, it's gonna be a struggle with you. Reboot Matt saying, I told everyone with Reboot Matt saying, it's not my build. I'm not gonna claim this build. I stole it from one of the Vegeta Saiyan army guys. It's Mikey and Julian Rodriguez. They have it. It's really, really solid. I think if Soydale had it, honestly, his Gamma matchup would have been a lot easier because it was just nasty, bro. Like it's 4 1-drop Gokus, 4 1-drop Kabbas. Both those guys are criticals. But the key thing about it is 0.5k blue 1-drop criticals that go to 15k. 4 Sensu Bean and 4 of the Enigma Mass Saiyan guy because you have 16 blue targets. Completely insane. You need one blue target in your energy, and that deck will go off. The only bad thing about it, you cannot play the Vegeta super combo because your energy is not all black. You play the other super combo. It's like the 1 for 10k. I think it's a Super Saiyan Goku, I believe it is. That's a super combo you have to go to because you cannot play SS4 or SS4 Super Saiyan Prince Vegeta because once again your energy is blue. I think that has lasting power, especially in a best of one pre-sideboard because you're gonna sit down. What do you sideboard? Think about it. Think about it. You're playing Gamma. You're playing Trunks. You're playing U7. What do you put in against Robo Master? You see what I'm saying? You're putting in negates. But you're like, okay, cool. And then negate his leader swing. Well, what do you do when his leader swing is critical? The one drop is critical. He has another one drop that's critical. By the time he's giving you cards, the 3-drop Vegeta Revive Ravager is critical. By the time you're actually receiving hits and getting cards to your hand that are not critical, you're already at 3 life. So at that time and point, you can't even take those cards to your life because if you do, you're one step closer to death. That's the build that I would play if I were to play it. But once again, I'm not taking any away from his thing. He did his thing. He finished second overall. I just think that blue variant version, it's a lot more impressive than the mono black. Trust me on that, broski. Like, trust me on that. I'm not trolling. Because he almost one-shotted me. I was playing against Mikey Mike. I was playing against King Piccolo. I think my turn 2, I was like, yo, if I didn't rejuvenate one, I'd have been at 2 life right now, bro. Like, it is what it is. Let's see what we got. Playing Android 20 in my build. Which build? Which build? Android 20. Which build are we talking about? Oh, for sale? Yeah, it's one for sale. Okay. Thoughts on hard aggro decks going into best of 3. Jiren, I made a whole thing about Jiren. Jiren, I love it because Jiren, as much as I love Trunks, Jiren destroys Trunks. Like, bro, by the time you hit turn 3 with Jiren, the game is over. The Trunks blocker is gone. You're super. It's miserable. Like, it's bad. Like, it's that Trunks does not stand a chance against Jiren. But the same way I praise Jiren for destroying Trunks, the same way you get destroyed against Gamma. Because you sit down against Gamma, it's not gonna bode well. Reason being is you don't have a correct answer for the what's his face for the cell. Once that cell hits, it's problematic because I still don't see myself playing that Unison. Like, if I were to play a Unison, it wouldn't be Topo. I'd play the TP for an extra name, but if I were to play a Unison, it'd probably be the 3-drop Jiren, which the TP should have bought out. I don't know why it brings up the Topo, but the TP should have bought out the 3-drop Unison Jiren because it's a Jiren deck, not the Use 11 deck. You'll go in, you'll do your stuff. One Bean or one Android 16, which I personally like in my build. I don't play Bean, I play the Android 16 instead. Will end your turn. But more than that, when you're going in, you are now, even though, yes, the 14 is easily answered by the Vegeta, it's like you would have to do that before clearing anything at all. It's a rough way to, like, I would have to play the matchup in order to do it. And then you have to, the one thing Jiren has, it can get to a point where if they don't have that's one big thing that kills you. And this is why I stay away from it. Is the Android 16 counterplay. Doing that bottom extra card, that's what really seals the deal on that. Because if they didn't have that card, I would say that matchup is free. But the fact that that's just one of the things you have to deal with, it's not fun at all. Because you have to deal with that, you have to deal with the Android 14, and every single one of those cards require answers, which cost energy. And yes, Jiren can't free play things, but the things you do free play can get answered, which is rough. And that's why I think Jiren is in a hard place with Gamma. It's not unwinnable. It's not unwinnable. I can sit there and trust me, if you're taking hits you're not supposed to take, you're going to lose. So I'll get to a point where you're at 2 or you're at 3. I'll see with a 1-drop that's a 4K and use a Death Ball on it and rip your entire hand. I'll bottom deck 2 cards because the Death Ball, which you're not seeing, is a 25k combo in 1 card. So there's 2 cards on bottom deck. I don't care. So it's not impossible, but it's hard. It's like you're fighting an uphill battle. It's not on a fair ground. Like, you're literally fighting an uphill battle. Share that cell hand control spice. I will if no one on the team is playing it. Webcam PT. What's webcam PT? Webcam Pro Play Tour. Oh, I don't know. So why are you hyping up set 5 Matt saying? Set 5 Matt saying? Set 5 Matt saying? What's set 5 Matt saying? Set 5 Matt saying? The one with the one hand? Oh, if you're talking about the one with the one hand, I'm not hype. I didn't hype that card up. I said black decks, just like U7 decks, are criminally being underplayed. That one, that Mass Saiyan, I think I need to talk about the one with this. I think it's like Vegeta under Master holding his eye like this. The reason why I like that, because you have to look at the format, right? That thing can grab back your Thortings, your one Thorting. If you mill it, you can grab it back. You can grab back your one drop against Trunks Vegeta. It's rough, like it's almost impossible because you can infinitely loop that with that one drop on the 16k one energy that warps Trunks right off the board just like that. It's gone. He can pick up your secret rare, bro. Like it's actually absurd, and people just aren't playing it. People tend to not play black decks when you can't just play everything for free. Like the decks where everything was free, Burst 5, everything was free, Dark Broly, you paid no energy except to tap for a double strike. When people have to actually pay energy, they tend to not look in black's way because black doesn't have free counter plays. But I counter that with black does have a free counter card. It's just not a counter play. It's a counter attack. It's that the death ball that Sin uses. I really enjoy that card in Unison decks. I also really like Mecha Gabriel as a black leader. Mecha Gabriel is solid. I just like to see black Sands because black Gogeta Zeno is still not dead, guys. Like I said this from day one. Gogeta Zeno and KP aren't dead, and you're gonna see. I think both decks already top, but you'll see those decks will eventually pop back up. People will be like, you know what? The issue with Gogeta Zeno though, right now, even though it's not dead, Gamma is not a traditional blue deck. They don't untap. Yes, they counter and you can pay taxes on it, but it's not traditionally untapped. So I can see that being problematic with them. But if Gamma was like SX3 would truly untap, you would see Gogeta Zeno consistently in there, getting in there. So I don't think black is dead. I honestly know. I think there's selective black decks that can compete. Unfortunately, I don't think it's as much as I love Rejects. I'm honest with you guys. I think that Black Man Saiyan took Reject's spot. I think Mecha Cabrera is also really solid because Mecha Cabrera followed up with the Warping 5 Dragon Balls with the Dark Banisher Fu, the 4 drop, well, the 8 drop that you tap 4 for it. That's 6 attacks. That's really nice. You know, it'll get there really quick. Let's see. Yeah, man, it's not. People say Gogeta Zeno it's bad because of the fusion. You gotta have to realize when Gogeta first came out, people also said it was bad. But the reason why it was technically considered bad is because you paid it. It was never a bad deck. You just paid energy for the cards. I think yes, you lost your pieces, the actual pieces, because now you only have one thwarting and you have the 16k blocker. And if you're playing the one tech of the let's just say this, the Martial Melee, I guess it's good. In my opinion, you should be playing Pycon. You should have always been playing Pycon, but now you 100% should be playing Pycon because your one drops are really what's gonna win you the game. You have a replacement in Trunks, which I think people are really underestimating how good and valuable that is. Especially, yes, your Thoring's at 1, but if you warp that thing, you're gonna see it. You're playing SS4 Beyond All Limits. You're gonna see that Thoring in just like that, just like that, just like that, just like that, just like that. And it's gonna be crazy, super, super crazy. So I still think it's really, really solid. Rebel Kim said starter Vegeta have a place in the format. Bro, you're gonna laugh at this. Juha and Legacy in this deck. I had my starter Vegeta deck built, ready to go, ready to take the format by storm. Hands down, it was literally gonna take the format by storm. Was going to Georgia, playing it and win the event. Shuts down KP, shuts down. You said every single deck that you're trying to do something, it was gonna win. You know what happened? That ban just got announced the week before. Hit the one card in that deck that I really needed was a Piccolo Unison. It's not the same. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not the same. Now, the starter Bardock crew, it's still really good. But someone who understands the Bardock crew package will not lose to it. Because they know what and when to stop certain hits. Now, if you're playing against someone that's like, okay, cool, it's this, that, you might still win. But I'm telling you, like, the one drop, you're going to play it. You're going to combo, you're going to swing, you're going to take a life, go to 15, you're going to combo, make sure that hits connect. I'm not going to let it connect. stop, your turn is done. I'll take all your other hits. That one specific hit, it's not gonna connect, and your turn just went sideways. And you're like, yo, he really just out combo this because I went to 25 and he just out combo. Like, yes, I did just out combo it. And you're like, yo, what just happened? That's what I'm like. If you're going to get someone who knows what that starter Bardock crew does, it doesn't hit the same. But a normal person, they don't know. They're gonna hit the hit. So if you hit it with a 25k and their leader's unawakened, it's like, okay, they're going from like 7 to 6 or 8 to 7. They're just gonna take. I'm personally not gonna take it because I understand when you start searching your deck and you start playing free guys, and I can EO all the 5-drop on top, which gets to, you see what I'm saying? Like, I know how the deck works, so it's not gonna connect. All right, cool. I think that's everything from the comment section below. I'll leave my closing comments, and if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, leave it in there thinking before. Oh, he said PT means playtest. So webcam playtest, yes. What I tell people all the time, untap is great. Untap is great. Untap is great. This is another video for another day. I can get into it, but I'm gonna end it with this. This is my closing comment. Web untap testing is very, very dangerous in terms of player health when competing at an in real life event. Reason being, I'll give you an example of what I found out and why I do my best to understand that and mitigate the things that it does to you. Untap testing really inhibits a player from maximizing on a deck. Like when I first started playing Jaren, I didn't lose it at deck, but I had a bunch of ties. I'm like, why am I tying with Jaren? Reason being, when you're playing on Untap, you search your deck in 2 seconds. When I played Jaren, I took my life, I flipped the top 7, I played my 1-drop, shuffled up, look at the top 5, grabbed the Jaren. I did that in less than a minute. When it was in real life, it took about like 3 to 4 minutes to complete that entire process because it was literally me searching, shuffling, giving it to my opponent to cut, searching again, shuffling, giving it to my opponent to cut. It was a process, decision making, looking at my hand, verifying, do I have this card or not? So what I will tell you on that, like I said, this is a whole video for itself. Use Untap as a ground to maximize your deck, the build itself. Once you get to a point, let's say Otakon, right? Right now for Otakon, you should have your deck. Once you get to a point where you have your deck because of Untap testing, that week before, don't play Untap. Play that deck in real life. Go to locals, webcam with your buddies, go to the Discord, play it in real life. You have to get the muscle memory of, it took me a while to speed up my searching with Jaren and actually decision making, all that good stuff. It took me a while before. That's why, yes, you guys saw the toss, but it took a while. I had a bunch of ties playing Jaren, which I should not have had because I did not have the muscle memory to, all right, cool, top 5, pop, 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 5, look at my hand, look at this, pick it, put it in, shuffle, give it, take it back, cool, top 5. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to practice the muscle memory. The same thing I can tell you, it's like for Gamma. I still see this too. A bunch of Gamma players, they're playing the Android 17, 18. They don't combo with the guy in their drop. And they miss their marker. Even though it's mandatory and all that good stuff, they're still missing all that stuff is because you're so used on untap. You're not practicing the muscle memory. When your opponent attacks, pick up the card and then combo the card. I told it before I left Florida, this is one of the biggest hits I gave the VSA guys. I'm like, guys, use untap as a source to maximize your deck. Once you have your strategy down and you know the deck works, remove it because you know it works. Now you have to muscle memory everything. Every single thing requires muscle memory because when you go to an event, you're going to forget certain things that you're going to forget to trigger a poutine. This is not untap where you can just shake, you can go over, or your opponent shakes it for you. Another video. Don't coach your opponents. It's just it's good. Untap is a good resource. But the more and more we stroll away from physically picking up the cards and do it yourself, it leads to bad habits, man. Like really, really, like missequencing. Where on Untap I'll let you have it. On real life, I'm not gonna let you have it because it's not the same. Like I can't verify certain things. It's not the same, man. So Untap is good, but webcam and in real life, it's where it's really at. That's where you really want to sit down, play against yourself, man. Like hold your deck, practice it. Untap already lets you master your deck. Now you actually Muscle memory, that bad boy. You know what I'm saying? You perfect it. So let's see. SS4 Vegeta in the format, great pick, great pick, great pick. Only other blue deck that I would recommend besides Gamma, SS4 Vegeta, great pick. You have you also have Janemba. I'm gonna throw that out there because, like I said, this is a mill format, and you also have things like Blue Baby, which is solid because Blue Baby, in my opinion, if you're going against Yellow, you're just gonna lose because if you don't have access in this format to at least three T-Bows, I personally have access to four in my yellow build. But if you don't have access to at least three, that's your own doing because you go against SS3, you go against SS, anything that floodgates you that plays battle cards, which you should have punished for one energy, and they tap three, they tap two. That's your own volition. You wanted to lose that match. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not trying to sound mean. I'm just being honest. If you have a one drop cold bloodlust to floodgates, why not play it? You see what I'm saying? Don't put everything. Don't put all your hopes and dreams into the one cooler you play. That's what I don't even play. I play two coolers. I get greedy with my energy, boy. He said, yep. Oh, what's up, Kavir? SS4 matchup into Yellow Trunks and Cell Reboot. So SS4 against Trunks against me, you're not winning because in pre-sideboard, this is one of the reasons why I have my Release from Evils. That matchup is horrendous. If you don't have access to Release from Evil as a Trunks player, you're going to lose the SS4 matchup because Kel ignores bit. Like they're going to end up ramping and having a bunch of stuff. You probably have seen success. I would venture if you're playing SS4 going against Trunks, if you're playing, I call it the Icarus wannabes. If you're playing Trunks, I'm sorry guys, don't get mad. If you're playing Trunks and Poutine and Turtles in your deck, you're stuck in Icarus land, bro. This is not Icarus, this is Trunks. You have in Poutine and Goku is your Trunks, bro. Like you literally have the Trunks blocker. He's a Poutine and Goku on legs. The Turtles is a Vegeta for one less energy. Like get out of the mindset where I'm just gonna do this because this is what players do. Don't follow the meta, become the meta. That's literally what I keep telling my guys. Become the meta. Don't ask what the meta is. You can say, okay, cool, this is what's being played. Now instead of trying to mold it in, you create your own meta and say, okay, cool. Now don't take it to an extreme where saying, you know what, you're right, Eddie. I'm gonna go play set one Frieza that untaps two battle cards at the end of the turn. You just don't do something like that. Play a viable leader and become the meta. You see what I'm saying? Like Gamma, I still think there's a form of Gamma we're not seeing. I don't play Gamma, so I couldn't tell you. But I still think there's a form of Gamma we're not seeing because Gamma came out from this one default shell, and it's always how it's been. So we haven't really seen it evolve. It's just slightly moves over to control the mirror match, but we haven't seen like, yo, why didn't I think about this in Gamma? I'll tell you right now, Trunks, Trunks, bro. I'm gonna leave it like that. Trunks has room to evolve. Like, man, once you got the mindset where this is not Icarus and this is Trunks, bro, your life is so much better. So to answer your question, SS4 matchup into Yellow Trunks and Cell Reboot. Oh, Cell Reboot, you're on a clock, my guy. You are on a super clock in Cell Reboot. Because Cell Reboot, I'm trying to think. What'd you do? SS4 against Cell Reboot. They're playing. You swing. I mean, your attacks are going to go through. So you should at least be at your first attacks going to go through. They're not going to have their guy to like turn, I want to say turn 3, because their turn 2 is going to be Unison. They're going to have to use that one energy to evolve. So it's going to be turn 3. So you should at least be at 4 to 5 energy before they have their guy out. You're playing. You should be solid. The amount of pressure you put, because I'm trying to think about it, the amount of pressure you would put on would be enough before they get to the turn 5. Because their first attack has to be something beefy, though. Like, yes, you're going to say leader, but once again, this is where you got to get out the mindset where it's like, it's not always leader, because you don't have a counter that just stops dormant. You see what I'm saying? So you know for a fact it's going to be dormant into the blocker. So if you swing at your leader, because technically that is the correct play because your leader restands, what does it matter if it restands or not if you only get one more swing? Which you're not gonna switch double strike do it now. You see what I'm saying? Like it's things like that which you want to think about. So you have to play unconventionally, but I do believe SS4 should beat the Cell. The uniform Trunks, it should beat them too. That if they're copying me and playing Release from Evil, you're kind of in a problem because if they could release from Evil your Vegeta and just stall until they have their Trunks on board, you're safe. That's all you need is your Trunks on board. Because if you try to over out combo the Trunks, I'll just let it die and reestablish another one. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't combo enough, I'll just use my TP to restand. Even if you go to 25 or 30, I will restand Trunks and keep saving so I can have multiple Trunkses on board. And so make sure you don't ramp not one time against me. So yeah, it's a lot harder versus yellow than it is Cell. Also, as a new place since you moved, it's been good. We've been chilling up here. SS4 only needs one ramp. Yeah. You get this is the thing. SS4 against Cell, regardless if you go first or second, you're gonna get at least two ramps. That's what I'm saying. So it'd be three. You'd be at 5 energy. You'd be solid. You'd be really, really solid. And don't forget, once I say unconventional, even if it requires you to skip out on the boot when you're at 5, to skip out on everything just to ape them, it's worth it, bro. Because don't forget, do not play something in a way where people say you should play it. Play it in a way where, hey, this is most advantage. It'll give you the most advantage. If you swing with your leader and you have 5 energy open, okay, keep it for the ape. They're gonna dormant you. The ape's gonna come in. They're gonna sit there. You gotta target the thing they're trying to block with, the cell they're trying to block with, things like that. I think that matchup should be really doable. How about Bluma or Rogue Black decks? Like I said, it's not going to play Gamma. For yellow, you'll see this in my Patreon build. It's that Unison. Shout out to my boy Juha. The Son Goku Forever or Memories Forever, whatever it is, it's a skill drain Unison, bro. They're done for. They're super done. So, like I told you, when you combine the player knowledge with the judge knowledge, you know when you combine that Unison with the Freezer's Reinforcements army, the blocker is still a blocker because it's not 5 or less. Because the tokens don't have costs. So that just makes that one really impossible for Bulma. Because the only thing they can do to you once you have that Unison, they can do one thing to you, which is Secret you. Or, no, 2 things. They can do 2 things. They can Secret you and reset your board. Or they can hit you with the 8-drop. The 8-drop triple. The whole... I'm not going to say bad things. The whole Trunks, Goku, and Pan. I'm going to keep it PG. They could use that because it's an 8-drop. Other than that, they're not doing anything. Black rogue decks. You're not going to see people with balls to play black decks. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I don't have black decks. Like, trust me, I sold before I moved up here. I had to sell everything. We were really tight on cash, but I sold all my black stuff. I would 100% try black deck that I 100% believe in. I just don't have black cards on me at all. You gonna release from evil on turn? She damn right. Shit, being releasing from evil on turn. You don't understand. Regardless if I play that Trunks on turn 1 or regardless if I play it on turn 2. I'm not going to be able to evolve that thing on turn 2. If I'm turn 1, I'm swinging, keeping an energy open, baby. You swing at me, release from evil. I'll take the hit. I don't care, because guess what? You're not ramping. And guess what happens on turn 2? I slam the Trunks that I skipped on turn 1, and I just evolve on turn 2 and still get my draws, dude. Like, what do you... That's super simple. But players don't think like that, because players think, oh, I have to play Trunks turn 1 to get Vegeta, or I have to play Vegeta turn 1 to get Trunks. They get smacked with that damn they get smacked with Vegeta and it's 30k. It's like, yo, this man's at 3 energy. And next thing you know, by the time they're evolving, they have a God Ceiling for it. And it's like, yo, yes, even though you get to evolve again, you just lost another energy to defend with. So now when they swing at you, it's like, yo, another ramp. And it's like, bro, what just happened? There's no rule or textbook. There's a rule book, but there's no textbook way of you do this turn 1. You have to no, man. Get out of that mindset. You play to what the game is presenting to you to. Don't get in that mindset, man. I will 100%. If I'm going against SS4, you see that 1 energy open, just know I drew one of my 2 release from evils, and that first swing you got, but you're probably not even use your thing at that time point. Yeah, that's just you're not gonna get no ramps against me. I ran release from evil in yellow, and I'll leave the 1 open. Yep. And if you run unisons too as well, I didn't have my unisons on me. I don't play Gohan. Don't play Gohan. Don't play Gohan. Don't play Gohan and Trunks. Don't play Gohan. I'm gonna say it one last time, and I'm gonna leave it. Don't play Gohan and Trunks, bro. Like, you'll catch maybe in slip. Everything I look at, I don't look at it for switch. I look at it for top cut. If you make top cut, no player is going to leave Gohan on board to the point where you can neg for that thing. Even if they have Trunks in play, You could ask, when I was playing against Eon, I cleared his. She's like, bro, damn, why'd you clear my Trunks? I'm like, bro, I'm not dumb. If you're playing this Trunks Unison on board, you're probably using it as bait. You want me to clear your board because on your turn, you're going to swing twice because you know if I did play Repulse, it's going to get through it. But then to top it off, you're going to evolve on top of it, and it's not going to evolve, but you're going to replace the Unison with the Gohan, and it's going to get Empower, so now you have another 325k swings. Come on, bro, like, it's a good concept, but if you want to play Gohan, go play the Goku deck. I promise you, it'll work in that deck. Don't play Gohan and don't play Gohan, bro. Get your value and play the altering time Trunks if you're playing Unisons. The Unison that I was playing when I was playing Trunks was Vegeta Unison of Fury. That's how you really catch people off guard, because they leave that one energy open for the V Magic. They leave that twin energy open because how would big people against Gamma? I would willy-nilly play my Evolve, and it would brainlessly Android 18 it to bottom deck it. I'm like, got you, because now you have 2 energy left. I would slam. Oh, Fly just came in. I would slam down my Vegeta Unison of Fury for 2. +1 by resting something, slide 1 under, neg 3 it, rest 1 energy. Now I'm swinging twice for 20 double strike. That's dual attack double strike. That's the Unison of choice that I would play. And not only that, if you're going against Cell, if you're going against any other BS decks, worst case scenario, literally just neg 1. It's like, oh, okay, bet, fam. Like, what are you doing? Especially when you play that 1 TP Vegeta, you can rest your 19k blocker Trunks. You can tell that I really know what I'm talking about. I just didn't have the Unison on me that day. But you can rest the 19k Trunks. They swing at whatever it is. That's not if it's not a Unison, because obviously Unison has a defense step. If they swing at anything that's not the Unison, you can combo off the TP, now restand the Trunks that you just rested, and you have a blocker. Feels great. Gohan is decent, but not amazing. Yeah, Gohan, it's a great card. No, I'm not gonna say Gohan's not bad. Gohan is a great card in the deck that's supposed to work in. I'm gonna leave it like that. Because people, you see, that's the thing, Rebel. A lot of people say they use it for a draw. Trunks altering future draws as well, bro. If you're playing against anything, literally cards they have 3 drop on I think it's 4 or lower. You KO it, and that one card you drew from Gohan, you draw the same card you do from Trunks. Guess what the difference is? You get to swing twice with Trunks, bro. I'm like, when people play Gohan, like, this guy really think I'm gonna lead this out here so it's neg 4 or neg 3. I'm like, bro, miss me with that, man. Miss me with that. That's not gonna happen. 4 Unison and Goku. Yeah. Now the reason why I maxed out on my Unison and Furies, it's literally to stack 1 under, because once I had 1, you're just good. Once you have 2, it's golden. It costs 2. You slide 1 under. You rest. Normally, you could swing with your leader, play something in rest mode. If you play the Vegeta, you bring the Trunks in active. If you play the Trunks, you play the Vegeta in active. You rest that with your Unison, and you evolve, and it restands, bro. I had so many hours on. I didn't have the Unison. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really just didn't have the Unison. I had the Gohans in my sideboard. I don't play Gohans, bro. I didn't even have the memories in there for my red blue, which made me sad, and I ended up losing that. All right, so I caught up on everything. So we stayed longer than expected. We really do appreciate you guys. I'll try to come out. Today's what, Wednesday? Thursday, I'll see if I can make a video again tomorrow. And Friday, I'm probably going to head over to the event. I got to make sure my cards are here before Saturday comes. Because Friday, this weekend, I'm not playing Trunks. As much as I want to play Trunks, I really, really do want to play Trunks. I want to play a deck that no one has played, and I want to put it on the map. It's either I'm going to win the event, or I'm not going to even make top cut with the event. There's no in between. I'm not going to make top cut and not go. I'm going to win the event, or I'm going to be announcing. You're going to see Eddie is commentating just like I am right now. There's no in between with the deck I'm going to play. So I'm just doing my best right now to get known with the deck, get more reps with the deck. I'm super confident with Trunks. Like, trust me, there's a reason why I was able to top what I showed you guys with, and it wasn't full build. I have hours on hours on hours like that. But since I know I won't be playing in Gen Con because that's been a judge, that's the deck I wanted to play for Gen Con. I just have to speed up the timetable and learn this stuff ASAP so I can win with it at hopefully Otakon. So with that being said, appreciate you guys for joining in, and yeah, man, see you guys next time.